chosen this topic because it refers to the chapters we have read and made presentations about. As well, it's super useful for us since we are studying in international community and later on we will be working in international workspace.
People that oversimplifies their cultures. According to Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary, stereotype is a fixed idea or image that many people have of a particular type of person or thing, but which is often not true in reality. Let's have a look at the example of gender stereotypes. While the male stereotypical role is to be the financial provider, female stereotypical role is to marry and have children. So, do stereotypes affect interpersonal communication? Yes, mostly they do. Following stereotypes, we tend to predict other people's attitudes, outlooks, likes, dislikes, motivation, and interests. We are eager to label people without considering their individuality or originality. But pay attention to their nationalities, business areas, political or religious beliefs. Stereotypical images can sometimes degenerate into prejudice.
Stereotyping becomes troublesome in communication when people make assumptions and prejudice about an individual on the basis of simplified notions about the group to which he or she belongs. People use stereotypes to make decisions about the coworkers, managers, and customers with little or no information about the person. The cultural stereotypes limit the management ability to make the best use of their employees' skills and help them develop new skills. Stereotypes are positive to integrate the workplace culture. For instance, people are conscious when using stereotypes in a group. It leads a person to understand and act appropriately in a new situational culture. Therefore, the stereotype is not an individual behavior. People can be aware of describing a typical stereotype as a group norm. So when we are already understand the different stereotypes, we can prevent judging other people. However, stereotypes normally bring the negative effects. When putting the stereotype too much, it would create the barriers for teamwork as well as the international communication. Moreover, it is hard to evaluate as good or bad, especially working as in a project or teamwork. With a person who is getting used to their own stereotype, there's no way willingness to modify. The individuality is put aside, and the conflict in the workplace may show up soon. Lastly, it will have the uncomfortable feelings between the person who judges the stereotype and the one who being judged by the stereotype.
Oh, I should have a meeting in a couple of minutes to get ready. I'm watching Andre sitting alone in the office, and here we are emphasizing the fact that in Western culture, people tend to work more individually rather than in a group of people.
Zhao.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, we also know how to read in your language. Lydia.
Nice. Really good. Let's have a seat.
In this scene, we are watching Jane and Fong coming to the office together in a group of two, and we bring our attention to that. Opposite of Western business culture, in Asia, people tend to work more in groups and more rarely alone in order to achieve a common goal. Getting to know the culture before meetings in Asia is another important aspect in Asian business culture. Andre greets them with a Vietnamese saying and they respond in Russian. This tool, as well called as icebreaker, it helps people to feel more comfortable during their first meeting. But in Europe, in Western cultures, people don't really mind about that.
Hello, I'm Andre and I'm representative of Industrial Technologies in Finland.
Hi, I'm Flo, and I'm Jane, and we are the representatives for the Asian subsidiary. This is our business house.
Oh, thank you. Great. Let's continue.
In Asian business culture, people tend to give to each other business cards during meetings and to the people they deal with during business activities or even sometimes in usual life.
So thank you for your time and effort to join this meeting, and we could like to give you one gift, and this is our new best-selling product of this year.
Thank you. I very much appreciate that. I hope that this negotiation will lead us to great success. Thank you.
Thank you.
After the business meeting, Asian colleagues are gifting to Andre their new product in order to establish good relationship between their companies and as an act of friendliness. Gift giving has always been a part of Asian culture. Although offering gifts is an act of friendship and generosity, lavish presents can sometimes appear to some of a form of bribery. If you represent a company, it is best to choose a gift that speaks for your office. You should make it clear that the gift is from your company to theirs. The gift as well should be only presented after all negotiations are concluded, which is the only acceptable way of giving gifts to anyone from Asian business community.
How to avoid misunderstanding in an international workplace. Following factors should be taken into consideration. Do research about the culture before organizing any meeting. Give importance to non-verbal communication. For instance, gestures such as thumbs up can be interpreted differently in different cultures. It is taken as OK sign in many cultures, whereas it is taken as vulgarism in others like Latin American cultures, and in Japan some even take it as a money. Know the difference between the cultural and the personal. Give everyone enough time to speak. For instance, a Chinese business associate may stay quiet for the majority of the meeting, waiting patiently for his turn to speak, whereas an Italian will probably talk at length, competing for the spotlight. Prioritize transparent communication. If you are not sure how something is done, just ask. Your communication should be complete. Employees of the companies should be united in their mission and vision in order to avoid the conflicts. English proficiency level of all the non-native speakers cannot be same, therefore slow down your speaking communication speed. Your body language can be interpreted differently in different cultures. It is good to expose the employees by arranging the meeting with them. How to avoid negative effects of stereotypes? It is possible by taking into consideration following factors. Respecting and appreciating others' differences. Imagine if people looked and acted the same way, it would be boring. Consider what you have common with other people lots more than you think. Avoid making assumptions or creating labels. Develop the understandings for the others. Educate yourself about different cultures and groups. Develop a unique personality. Focus on the positive aspects.